come out. That's how happy I am. I got one dimple and it comes out when I'm supremely happy. Look, you see it?
Oh, I don't have dimples.
I don't know what, it might just be a bit of like, I don't know, it's like fat, isn't it, really? It's just like
I am so happy right now. I've been smiling so much today that my face hurts.
Me too.
I've been listening to nothing but the fifth dimension. No
I
more.
with you. I've saved this as well for us to have a moment of celebration to say.
I wish I could. I have to drive in a little bit, so I cannot. But
Have yours, don't you worry. I just want to say, well done us, because this has been months and months and months in the making, and I know we've talked about that in like potentially more than one of the episodes, and the fact that we have now finally published it deserves.
Oh, and it's out there in the universe.
It's out there for us. And what a warm welcoming.
Congratulations to us.
Yeah, you know, I want to say this. I am useless at celebrating myself. I'm useless at celebrating anything worth celebrating. I forget that each of these increments are worth their weight in gold, even if it's just, hey, I showed up today. That's worth celebrating. And
it really is.
Today we launched something that we have had in the works for, I reckon maybe 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
almost
for me,
an entire year, because it was in the spring when I had that dream of 2023 and we started talking about it, and then life took us on our own tangents and we had to come back from our own tangents. We were back to our timeline. How fitting that Aquarius tangent started and then we went on a tangent, like a life tangent, and then had to come back to it.
I'll drink to that. To the tangents.
To the tangents.
That tastes so sweet. Mate, honestly, I'm so grateful to have, obviously I'm so grateful to have you in my life, but I'm so grateful for the fact that we have done this in such a way that it hasn't been anything stressful for us. It's just like, we know we're doing it, and we're doing it. And because we've removed the idea that we were going to do something else with it other than just do it because we love it, it took all the pressure off. And then that's when we did that, it sped up.
Yeah, I know, I 100% agree. Because it wasn't, we've come at it recording when we can, naturally, when we're in the mood to, and then that means it's not this bunch of pressure for us to perform or show up, and we do it when it's totally in alignment, which means it comes off as like we're just authentically ourselves in it, which I think is a fucking beautiful thing. Like, just us showing up. Yeah, we're just showing up for each other.
It's not performative.
Yeah.
I think you get like the entertainment crew do arrive, like our entertainment personalities do kick in, which is not.
We're entertaining.
All right.
I'm sure we'll find out soon enough in the comments if we're entertaining.
Oh, I can't wait. You know, I'm actually rather excited about getting some shit.
Oh, me too. I'm excited for like people telling us that we're fucking off our rocker, because I'm like, yeah, fucking sure am.
Thanks for noticing. But like I just said before we started recording, one of my friends messaged me. I'd said to him, you know, oh, like our podcast is going live today. We've just, you know, it's like, you know, it's premiere. I like using the word premiering. It makes it sound quite important. And
because we are important.
Thank you. This is about total world domination. We know this. And he said to me, "Oh, mate, are you shitting it?" And I was like, "No, I'm because I think because you and I are so, both of us, we're so used to showing up live on camera for our respective communities and whatnot, and neither of us have any kind of real fear around doing that at all. It's like I mean, listen, if I gave a fuck, would I look like this? No, right. So we all know Lou needs to wash her hair today, right? I don't fucking care. there's a weird box in the background that I haven't thrown away for the last 3 weeks. I've been in the same sweater for all week this week. I'm putting it on. I'm only covering it up in case anyone notices, but you might as well. I'm in the same fucking jumper I'm always in.
You know what? Because nobody knows when these episodes are launching. Who fucking cares? Who knows?
Well, basically, yeah, I mean, it's the same sweater I've been wearing all week. I'm not afraid to admit it. But I find it really, really fascinating when people ask that question, like, you know, are you shit, as we say, are you shitting it, mate? Are you bricking it? Are you like, you know, nervous?
We say shit in your pants, are you shitting your pants?
Yeah, are you like, is there any element of fear within you currently? And it's like, no. And I was like, no, we've got 8 subscribers, granted 2 of whom are me and you, but fuck, you know, like, I'm so excited and absolutely pumped by this idea. And I love the fact that that we live in an age where we can do this. It just shows anybody who wants to, like, spread their message or say whatever it is that they want to say, if you can fearlessly, and fearlessness isn't the lack of fear. Fearlessness is the courage to shit your pants and do it anyway, right? That's how I see it, at least. And
I agree.
And it just proves that it doesn't matter. Like, just if you've got something to say, or you've got something that you would love to do, just do it.
Yeah. I woke up this morning, like, out of bed going, it's a Aquarian day. And I've been cracking my pants all day, but like in the best way. Like, oh my God, I can't wait. Like, I'm sure my friends and my kids are tired of me being like, it's podcasting, it's launching.
It's Coronation Day. Coronation Day. It feels just good. I mean, I can, the only other time I felt like this really was when I wrote a poetry chapbook and I self-published it on Kindle, and it was never about making money from it. It wasn't like, let me do this as a business. It was just, I really wanted to express my deepest, darkest, rawest thoughts and feelings and everything else out loud. And I wanted to do it to the point where I had no get out clause. It's like, it's out there now. It's out there. I can't do shit all. Like, if you want to buy my book, like, either, you know, like, it's on like print on demand and on Kindle.
I want to buy your book.
I'll send you a PDF. I'll send you the PDF. Don't worry about that. You'd have to buy it. Unless you want a signed copy, I can ship you one of those. But it was never
I just want to support you because I fucking love you and think you're the greatest thing in the world. So, like.
But for me, it was just that I needed to express myself in a way and then take it over the line that I'm comfortable with. So I've got no problem with expressing myself deeply in my journal when I write poetry, etc. But now I'm faced with a consequence, which is that I'm allowing myself to be vulnerable, and other people get, by me saying, hello, here I am, and I'm being visible, it allows the possibility of other people judging that, misinterpreting that, fucking trolling that, whatever it may be. And when I did that, that was back in, I think it was like 2017. It was 2017. The day that I published it, I was just like, I can't even explain, well, how we feel today. The elation that was like, I've done it and I've put myself out there in a way that I'm really not comfortable with, but that I need to do for myself. And that's what we've done in this podcast, I reckon. It's just like,
yeah, and it deserves to be celebrated. I mean, for me, coming from what I've come from, I was talking to a friend the other day and I was like, it's just like, we don't celebrate ourselves enough. And so she just had like a career achievement. So I was congratulating her on her career achievement. We were chit-chatting and I was like, you know, you were really a high caliber woman. And then I stopped and I paused and I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to claim this for me too. I've never once called myself a high caliber woman. And in that moment, I was like, no, I'm a high caliber woman. Like, I'm going to celebrate myself and I'm going to claim it for me because we don't do that enough. And so
we don't. You know, it's almost like when somebody else offers you a compliment. I mean, we're all working through the receiving. So we all do a thing. I mean, it's taken me years to get over the shallow thank you that I say, because I know I don't want to bat it off. I want to receive, and I want to say, oh, thank you so much. But inside, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm like, I take it and I receive it, and I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, and it really is, it does go in. I don't feel the necessity, but with myself, I push it away. So I don't celebrate I don't want to call them small wins because they are so significant, but I don't celebrate them because it feels still uncomfortable for me on some level to either pat myself on the back or reward myself for something, because I'm still not there. I'm still not there. So it's like, if I say thank you to myself and celebrate this win, I think the fear for me is that I'll just like bask in that glory and then not carry on moving forward, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's a double edge almost, because there's that to it, and there's also we are so trained, especially as women in society, to not put ourselves first, to not congratulate ourselves, to always put our success onto somebody else, and to be like, oh no, like don't give me attention, don't. And it's like we are trained to say, oh no, that belongs over there, not to us.
No,
Because we're behind the scenes and we're nurturers and we're givers, and so the spotlight can't be on us. But here we are, fucking people. The spotlight is on us now. Claim it, love it, give yourselves fucking compliments. This was going to be a celebration episode, and look at, we've already turned it into
every conversation we have could be an episode. The reason that we hit record is because I wanted to open the bubbly on camera. But every conversation that we've ever had we been recording, could potentially have ended up as an episode. All goes deep,
right? And so this one, it's like a self-celebration episode where we're like taking those moments to celebrate yourself, to celebrate those achievements, to compliment yourself, are really, really, really fucking important.
Fucking right. I don't do it. I mean, I'm so celebratory of everybody else, but I forget to congratulate myself on the simple things that I struggle with. And when I do the thing, I'm like, well, you know, I'll tell you what, here's a good example. So when I was, let's say, a teenager, when I was a teenager, and I was like always in my room, like, you know, let's like, everybody feels like this, and you hide yourself away. And then the day you emerge from your pit, some fucking prick in your family will say, oh, nice of you to join us. And they will, instead of saying, oh, you're here, brilliant, oh, it's so nice to see you, they put you down for the thing that you did that they hated you for not doing. And so I started to feel, you know, and I've still felt like this, it's like, I just feel like, oh, finally, you've just gotten over the thing, as opposed to, you did good, girl, celebrate yourself for having done the thing that you
you pulled yourself out of the hole.
Yeah.
Listen, being a teenager is fucking hard, especially these days with all the pressures that teens have. I mean, my girls aren't there yet, but I already see it coming. One's getting close. And it's just like the hormones and the changes and the pressures to fit in and the yada, yada, yada. And it's just like, so just be happy. Just be happy. You know what, even as an adult woman, we all go through, you know what? Menses, our cycle, our period, whatever you want to call it. Congratulate yourself for getting through that fucking shit too, because I know at least there's a week in every month where I just want to hide under the blanket with like a cup of hot tea and a good book, curled up, and like just shut the world out. But really? I can't. I gotta work, so I show up. So you know what? Good on me for showing up through that.
And I'm not invalidating that, but we only tend to congratulate ourselves when we've had to struggle. Yeah. Why can't we just congratulate? Why? So today we are literally saying it's taken zero fear for us to put out this podcast. Like, we love it. We're living it, loving it, laughing it. We're doing it anyway. There's no fear, blah, blah, blah. But because it wasn't like hard work, we're not allowed to say it's still worthy of celebration.
That's why we came on here to celebrate that it launched. Because so go on. You know what? I'm going to say, whoever's out there that did an easy thing today or a hard thing, good on you. Good on you
Well
for doing
done.
the easy thing. Good on you for doing the hard thing. Good on you for doing the thing.
Good on you for being.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I just think, you know, it's like it's so easy to congratulate ourselves for I don't know, pulling through any kind of hardship, but we are allowed to congratulate ourselves for just existing, for doing whatever we do, whatever we do. You know, I didn't order a Deliveroo today. I cooked for myself. Well done. I gave myself the grown-ups, but that you know, when you're like, oh, can we get a pizza? And you're like, no, there's food in the freezer. You know, when I do that for myself, I'm like, well done, Louise. Today you didn't spend any money unnecessarily. Good for you, girl. Good for you. You know, it is ridiculous, but we're not in the habit of taking a moment to, yeah, just congratulate ourselves for doing something so simple, something that I've put off for months, and then I finally do it. And then instead of me going, oh, yay, we did the thing, I'm like, see, it wasn't that hard, was it? Rather than saying, right, we've done it. Go on, girl. I'm like, see, you could have done it ages ago, couldn't you? I like berate myself for it because I'm
I think
annoyed.
we all have that little inner voice that berates ourselves, and it's something that we need to work through because honestly, the more the more we put ourselves down, the more we allow others to put ourselves down, to put us down, and it's just like
It's
it's heartbreaking.
yeah,
It's heartbreaking, really.
it really is. It's the inner
But the more you
voice.
celebrate yourself, the more you allow others to celebrate you too, right? So it works in reverse. And the more you celebrate others, the more they'll celebrate you. So get on that weird braided rope. I don't know where I'm going with that.
It's not even, I agree with you, but also not necessarily that when we allow ourselves that we allow others. It's just that we suddenly recognize that people are celebrating us, and it was unbeknownst to us before because we didn't see it, we brushed over it, or we pushed
maybe
it
maybe
aside.
allow is the wrong term.
But
Maybe
no,
it's
you get what I'm saying. No, and I'm not
yeah, yeah,
criticizing
yeah, yeah.
what you're saying, but
I
like,
get what you're saying. It's more like we see it, or we are open to
yeah,
receive it. When
we
we
pay
celebrate
attention.
ourselves, we're more open to receive when others sell it. There's a better word for it.
Yeah.
There we go. I get there eventually.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why
and
it's
no,
tangent.
and that's where we're going with this. It's like even a compliment, like one of my mates, he will say to me like, "Oh, I like your dress." He doesn't like my dress. He thinks I look great. So I say thanks. I know I look great because I know what he's saying. But it took years.
Hey, whoever's telling Lou that you like her dress, just tell her she looks like a fucking babe. Okay, just that's what she wants to hear. I'm just gonna put that out there.
And I do often, frequently. Not today. I don't know. I look like a God knows, but I, you know, frequently do look like a babe. But you know, it's like, I mean, women, we do it as well. But the difference is with women, we will say, "Fuck, I love your shoes." We know when we compliment a woman, we're not objectifying the woman. Or we'll say like, "Honestly, that looks shit on you. Where did you get it from?" That's our way of delivering a compliment in a way that doesn't seem like a come on. And I feel like men have vaguely tried to adopt that maybe, or something like, oh, I like your dress, or they're just too pathetic to tell you what they really think, which is, mate, you look fit today. Why, thank you, kind sir, as opposed to, I like your dress. You're a man, you don't know about dresses. What are you talking about?
But still, it's good to see that you are open to receiving that compliment because it's, you know what, when we shut down things like compliments, especially from people we care about, it's like shutting down love, right? Because somebody cares about you so much that they're like, here is this beautiful, kind words. And then you're like, no, I am shutting.
Oh, this old thing we do with the, oh, I like what you're wearing. Oh, this old thing. Like we minimize
but
it.
it's shutting down somebody's honest to goodness love that they want to give to us. And it's like,
When we reject a compliment, we are rejecting that person's, we are literally shutting that person down. And what if that person wants to give? They want to give to you. You are denying them their opportunity to give to you. That is mean. It's all of our responsibility to allow other people to give, you know. So that's why my immediate response is thank you now. Used to be like, and now I'm like, oh, thank you. and it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I'm like, wow, that really means a lot to me. Thank you so much, and actually absorb it. Like, and you see this playing out in comments on Instagram. I can tell you this from at the time of recording, it's the 29th of February 2024, where today and I put quite a, you know, carousel, and it was a bit vulnerable and stuff, and the comments that I've had on that with people saying, you know, we love you and all of you, Lou, and things like that. And so my response was, thank you so much for taking the time to say something so insightful to me. I'm not saying thanks for the compliment, I'm saying thank you for taking the time to sit and write something that's meaningful, and I appreciate it, and I've received that. Thank you. That is a true thank you. Like, for me, that's a, you know, and I've took it on board, and I'm like, wow, I'm not going to disagree and go, oh, yeah, this person has just told me from the heart how they feel about me. Who am I to reject that? I'm not rejecting that. I'm just going to say,
Yeah. And there is a lot of, you know, we talk about the big wounds that everybody has is the I'm not enoughness, and no place do you see it bigger than in receiving of a compliment, because that really highlights somebody will say something nice to you and you say, oh, no, 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 no. That tells you that you don't think you're enough to
yeah,
receive that compliment.
yeah.
So like, that's a really, like, if you struggle with the I'm not enough wound, that is a great place to start. It's just start with being open and working on receiving those compliments, because
And
then things
giving
will
them,
start to shift.
and giving them, like, you
And
know,
yeah, and giving them.
we
Oh my
talk
God, did I tell you about, oh, she's gonna kill me for bringing her up, but that's okay. So I have my best friend. She does
for
not do
me,
well. No, my other best friend, my IRL best friend, my Canadian best friend. Yeah, fuck her, right?
like,
My Canadian best friend Clara does really, really poorly with receiving compliments. Well, she's getting better, but she was really bad at it one time. So I was like, she's like, I just struggle with it. It's just so awkward and blah, blah, blah. So what I did for an entire month, every day I woke up and I wrote her or voice noted her, or when we were on the phone together talking, I gave her a compliment.
love
But it wasn't
compliment.
just like, oh, I like your dress today.
Yeah,
Right? It was one of
day,
these
day
like,
in the time.
Clara, your sense of style is so beautiful. I love how you are able to like pick an outfit for the occasion and match it with like how you know, or one of the reasons that I love you as my best friend is that, you know, you have this way of just holding space and being so understanding and open to let, and she was just like, every time she's like, Heidi, you're way over the top. I'm like, Leo Moon, of course I'm over the top.
But the thing is when you are, when you do that with somebody, and also on the receiving end of it, when you pay somebody a specific compliment, or somebody is very specific with you, I find that it's easier to accept, because it's a unique compliment. So what you did there was perfect, because you're setting her up for receiving generic compliments. So you are saying something that's so specific to her. You are expressing your gratitude to her for,
Yep.
her herness, right?
Yep.
And I've had this recently as well, where somebody's complimented me in such a highly specific way that I was left speechless. Actually, me speechless. Lol. And I was just like, I didn't know what to say, because I couldn't rebuff, because it wasn't like something shit. It wasn't like, oh, well, I think you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, as if I am, right? But it was so highly specific to me that I was like,
been there,
so all
you
I
know.
could do was go, oh.
Yeah. And here we are a year later out of doing that for Clara. And she has you know, been climbing the corporate ladder and had received some amazing compliments from some colleagues. And she was like, Heidi, I don't know if I would have been able to take them as well as I did without you doing that
Yeah,
whole
because she was able to recognize, you got her
right?
used to it.
Yeah.
You did it with her in a way that it was easy for her to accept, because it was so specific. I do this, you know, I mean, you know me well enough to know that that I do this with my friends as well. And I think, I mean, we do it with each other, don't we? But certainly with some of my friends, I tell them about things, I compliment them about things that I'm envious of them for having the capacity to do or be, which I don't have myself. So particularly like my friend Alice, good example, she has this amazing ability to concisely sum up rationally and reasonably, but and directly, but still encapsulate the emotion, one sentence. And I'm like, what you just said would take me 3 hours to go around the houses with. Like, I love how she can just hit the nail on the head in such a beautiful way that that literally contains all facets of the thing.
Yeah.
And she blows my mind. She blows my
Yeah, I
mind. And
envy.
when I
Yeah,
see
I would say the
it,
same thing.
I,
Things that I'm envious of and that I admire in the person.
that's what I mean. It's the admiration,
Yeah,
but and the envy. It's like I wish I could, you know, why do I use 12 words where 3 would do? And I love the fact that you have the capacity to do that. I appreciate it about you. I'm envious of it. I admire it. And I don't know why, but I'm quite excited by it. And I always want to tell people about it as well. And it took her a little while, I think, to get to the point where she was like, she could see it in herself as it in being a like a freaking superpower of hers. She was just sort of taking it for granted. And that's the other thing, is when you compliment somebody on something that they themselves take for granted because it's just who they are, but you see it with
yes,
outside eyes, and they're like,
and
oh, I didn't realize that was even a thing. And you point it out and they're like, oh, thanks for seeing me, because that's what it is. That they feel seen. That's what it boils
yes.
down to.
And the other way you can really make somebody feel seen is by 4 little words.
I fucking love
I'm,
ya.
I'm proud of you.
Oh, I hate that. Sorry.
I am
You
proud
know
of
what?
you.
How many times I've said, ah, that was my knee. How many times I've said to you, I don't want to sound condescending, but because I'm proud of you over here just sounds condescending. Like I hate it.
Really, over here it's not like I just told my friend
Cultural.
I'm proud of her accomplishment, and I was like, you know what, I'm really like I
I've
am
told
proud.
I've got a friend who I am super, super duper proud of, and I tell him frequently how proud of him I am, but I do have to preempt it every time with
Yeah.
not even being
It's a
sarcastic.
cultural
I
differences,
think
but
it's
like I was like,
cultural.
I'm genuinely I'm proud of you. You know,
Yeah.
she did it, she had a
It
huge
even
compliment,
makes
and
me
I
go
was like,
like,
I'm proud of you. And she was again, but it's a compliment. So she's like, thank you. But it's like, yes, I'm proud of you. And that is
if
a
you tell me,
phenomenal accomplishment.
if you tell me you're proud of me, I would take it from you as you intend it, but I will recoil in my physical,
Oh,
because I'm
I
like,
guess. This is
thanks.
the
Like,
challenge of telling Lou that I'm proud of her for an entire month now until she gets used to it.
ah, no.
Everybody, you know what? Right now, in the comments, anybody who is proud of Lou, write it right now in the comments. Comment, Lou, I'm proud of you.
Oh, no. What we do, or when people say well done, that's also very sarcastic over here. But when people say, see, what we do is we will minimize it by bringing it up to the shallow level, and we'll go, nice one, mate. No, honestly, nice one. And we're like, oh, you didn't. Like, it's like in that kind of, I know it's so weird, you know, the British stoicism or whatever that
Yeah,
we have.
yeah.
But if somebody sat me down and said, Louise, listen, I'm really proud of you, I'd be like, don't condescend to me. Like, it's, to me, it's really significantly condescending. And also, I don't need you to be proud of me. Like, so I get all like riled up about it. Maybe there's well, definitely there's some work for me to do around this. Why have I ever been told? My parents, have they ever told me they're proud of me? Blah blah blah. Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks. But it's definitely a British thing. I kid you not. Oh, I'm really proud, because that I could easily say to you, Heidi, I'm so fucking proud of you, and you would take that as like, you know. But if I say it to one of my British friends, they'd be like, all right, calm down, you know. I have to say to my friend all the time, who I am so proud of, I have to say to him, like, I am like, and I have to preempt it every time, like, listen, mate, please just know that I mean this without any sarcasm or without condescension. But I am so fucking proud of you. I am chuffed to bits and I'm made up for the fact that you are doing this, this, and this, like the strength and the resilience that this requires, etc., etc. So I do go into detail, and there are no other words for me to express the fact that I am really genuinely proud of this person. But if I just said, mate, I'm so proud of you, nah, doesn't
Cultural differences over here, it can land.
Yeah, funny,
I mean,
isn't
there
it?
are definitely ways over here to be like, I'm proud of you and be sarcastic, but over here, it's generally like when we say it, when we're sarcastic, ours is the slow clap.
Yeah, which we don't do. I mean, we go, way, like we're a different breed,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
brilliant. I can't wait for us to do like a foreign exchange. Like
Yeah.
for you to come here and for me to come to you. I mean, that's going to make for great content. Like Heidi out and about in Ashford, Kent.
Telling all the Brits I'm proud of them.
Yeah, just like, oh hi, I'm Heidi. I'm real proud of you. And they're like, who the fuck is this?
She's Canadian. She's
I'll be like,
Canadian.
listen, arc at it. She's fabulous. And then me just being like, listen, I'm really not content. The thing is, I reckon I'd fit in Canada purely because my rate of apology is probably similar to a Canadian, you know.
Probably.
We have in common.
Anytime I talk to any of my American friends and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, they're like, what are you sorry? For what? What are you sorry? You don't have to be sorry. And I'm like, I it's a cultural thing. Like, I grew up. This is what we do.
It's the same in Britain. It's like, it's my natural state of being is apologetic.
Yeah. I'd say what's the other one that I did it today while I was at the grocery store, and I was like, oh, there's a Canadianism where I was trying to get around somebody, and instead of saying, oh, excuse me, we say, oh, let me just sneak by you right there.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, excuse me, oh, sorry, excuse, I do like instead of saying oh, excuse me, please. You know, I literally will be like, oh, sorry, oh, could I just, oh, can I squeeze? Yeah. Can I squeeze? I always say that, can I squeeze? Can I squeeze? Oh God, I do say that all the time. And my mum as well, like if somebody's like doing something behind me and my mum pulls me towards her if we're out shopping, and I'm like, what? And she's like, people are trying to get by. And I'm like, but they can see me, but I can't see them. So it's not my responsibility if they're trying to get by. So I always say really loudly, they could just say, excuse me. Because passive aggressive is another British trait, which we're great at. When we hold a door open for somebody, people walk through and we're like, how? And then they don't say thank you. And as they walk by, we go, you're welcome. Like we're so passive aggressive. I can't wait for a foreign exchange, man.
I can't wait either.
You're welcome. Like livid. That's how you know a British person is livid, is if they tut under their breath, or if we're like, that is anger to the nth degree. That's like pulling a fucking gun on someone in the UK. And yeah, and just being like, you're welcome. You're welcome. When people don't say thank you and they go, oh shit, sorry. And you're like, no, it's fine. I'm only joking. And then as they turn around, you're like, dick. We're horrible. We're horrible people.
You know what? The same thing happens here. I mean, we're part of the Commonwealth, so like, but we'll again the same thing, and it's just like, what is their problem?
Right. And my mum does it. My mum will do it in like, especially in the supermarket, where she thinks she's being quiet, but she's not. And she'll say, like passive aggressive, she'll be like, huh, like have a little bitch about somebody over there. And I'm like, you do realise they can hear you? She's like, well, I don't care if they can hear me. And I'm like, well, I do, because they're just doing their thing, and you're being quite rude right now. But if I'm doing it and somebody else doesn't like it, I'm like, and what? Like we all do it in our own ways. It just never seems to tie in with the other person that we're with at the time, where we're all like, yeah, you're the dick kind of thing. So it's so funny, these cultural nuances. I find, yeah, fascinating, hilarious, Always a brilliant topic of conversation, but certainly, yeah, the capacity to congratulate and celebrate ourselves is, and I think it is probably a social conditioning, especially as women, where it's like, oh, you know, don't count your eggs before they've hatched, like don't celebrate too early, like this isn't a preemptive celebration. It's like, no, I've just hit something that I'm really, really grateful for having achieved.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a quick, like, one hot fucking minute to celebrate it,
Listen,
and then I'm
nobody's
gonna
gonna
carry
tell me
on.
any different. Aquarius tangent is going to take over the world. Like, it's in my mind, it's fully cemented. Congratulations, Lou and Heidi. You're taking over the world. You are in the process of
It's like the first episode of Pinky and the Brain is happening, or when I was rewatching, because obviously I've been rewatching the
yeah, so you
episode,
can write the content.
so I can write the descriptions, and you've been rewatching them, so you can like add in some cheeky little edits, but no super duper edits.
Mostly just music and like the graphics. That's like and subscribe.
Yeah, which
And then
also
like
looks awesome.
pulling stuff for that or clips for social media, I may
When
add.
that came up at the end, I was like, ooh. Like, ooh. I was well like,
Look what I did.
didn't even know this was going to happen. Ooh. Like, look how professional we look.
Okay, I'll keep doing it then.
I
Because
thought
I was like,
to do
do I
that.
like this? Does it see? I'm like, everybody does it. So do I like it? Because of course, as Aquarians, we're like, everybody does the like and the subscribe. So we should not do it.
Fucking
Because
right.
I have to be contrarian as an Aquarian. So I'm like, maybe
So
you shouldn't do it. I don't know how I feel about it or like it. But I'm glad you like it.
I mean, listen, I like it, but I don't know, I love it. But also I was like, I was just surprised, I was taken by surprise, which is like, there's not an invitation to anybody, but I quite like being taken by surprise occasionally. And
Did you notice how I timed it too? Like, good
it
on
was,
me for getting that timing down.
it was on the freaking money, babes. It was on the freaking money. And I was just
And
like,
the fucking music that I've chosen so far.
oh, that's so funny. I know.
I
It's like,
just put it on and I just started. I was
That's literally the sound, the inner sound that goes on in our brains when we jump on these calls and we hit record, and we always do our little dance, which we do anyway, which we've said so many times that I don't want to justify it anymore. But when you put that music to that, I was like, yeah, no, that is my brain. That's what my head, that's what my brain is doing.
I just, every single time I just died laughing. I was like, I don't know how I got this brilliant, but I'm fucking brilliant today. I'm on it.
You out brillianted yourself, which also deserves supreme
Thank
celebration.
you. I'm going to receive that compliment openly.
You did.
Thank
No,
you.
honestly, the timing on the little graphics coming up as well, to the point where I was like, oh, and went to hover on it because I thought, oh, is this a new YouTube feature? I don't, because I don't know. It's not my you know, it's not my zone of expertise, is it? And I was like, oh, at this. Oh, I was so, no, honestly, mate, I'm so like, I'm really chuffed to bits about the whole thing because,
Thank you.
you know, you've, yeah, I feel like, you know, we've done ourselves proud, we're doing each other proud, and
And your descriptions are
honestly, we are simply doing what we want, when we want, how we want, and it's exciting, and it's worth fucking celebrating.
living it. We're laughing it. We're
We're
loving it. All out loud.
love, live, love, laugh, live, love, live, laugh, live, love, laugh. Let me go grab my basket of dicks and knock round next door for Paul Bettany.
Oh yeah. If you haven't seen that episode yet, we should put a link in the description for that episode.
Well, we've don't make me do that. It's a whole nother description thing. But the Paul Bettany one, I have put a disclaimer apology, like in the description for that one, like special shout out to Paul Bettany, and then in brackets it's like apologies for the objectification. I should put dot dot dot.
Like,
You're fit.
yeah. Like you get so cheeky with the description. So if you guys don't read the descriptions, go read the description because she's phenomenal at writing. And then I get cheeky with like the graphic.
You just put in brackets, I'm flying dicks. I watched that one, honestly, I've watched that one so much this week and I've been in tears.
Because you know what? I love that we're strong enough in our character to be like, we're not egotistical, but that was fucking brilliant shit that came out
Oh,
of our
mate,
mouth that day.
I was trying to say this. No, not even trying. That's a lie. I actually said this out loud to somebody. I was on a coaching call earlier, and I said that when I watch, and this, bearing in mind, this is different from what I don't know, 3 years ago, but now I rewatch everything that I do with other people on my own, etc. And the biggest thing that, or like the most frequent thing that I think when I'm watching myself is, she's got a point. She's got a point. Like I am in so much pure connection with myself and so much pure agreement with myself and so much like wholesome, this is who I amness, that I watch myself back to see what I've got to say so I can go, yeah, no, do you know, I need to take notes because I'm like, you know,
I'm the same.
so
I'm the same way. I watch
isn't that
content back,
wonderful?
whether it's stuff that I've done with you, with other people, with my own, even my own lives, with my own group when I'm going one on one, because I like something comes out of my mouth that I'm like,
And
oh fuck, I didn't think of that.
right, and in that
I'm like,
I think
and
that
then
this, that's the ultimate, I think that then is the ultimate acceptance of self and knowledge that what you've got is good to fucking go. If you
yeah,
can watch yourself and nod along with what you're saying, this is you embodying your inner wisdom when you are like, fucking hell, you're right, you're right, you're right. You know, it's why a lot of us, and I know obviously another tangent here, but it's why a lot of us are um delivering the work that we are doing ourselves. So we are also doing the work at the same time as the work that we are encouraging or inviting our clients to do, because we're living it at the same time. And when we
yeah,
have these beautiful moments of fucking epiphany and recognition, belief shifts, etc., if you can recognize in yourself in that moment from watching yourself back and going, fuck me, you're right, to yourself, I mean, that is when you know that you are on the right path with yourself, like with
mhm,
you know, you get what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I love
yeah.
that. Like, I can't,
And you know what? I will also say the opposite is true too. There are times when I go back and watch some of my stuff, and I'm like, oh no.
oh, I've done that.
But
I'm just like, what the fuck are you
however,
banging on
when
about
when
that
that's
girl?
happened, it's like when I've done that, it's like it's not that I'm playing to anybody else. It's I've looked at that and go, there's my growth. I thought this and
Yeah.
now I've progressed. So it's not one of those like, oh, I was so off the mark, or I was playing to other people.
No,
It was like
no, no.
I can remember thinking that and why I thought that, but look at how far I've grown when I've come over
And
here,
then, but
right?
you
And now
address
I'm
it
talking
though,
on
don't
this
you?
level, right?
And then you address it. Like my post on thing today was just me calling out my own bullshit in my content.
Yeah.
And it's like good because I love going, oh, Louise, what the fuck are you banging on about there, girl? Like, and now I get to talk about that all over again because I'm like, listen, 6 months ago, this is what I was thinking. I don't agree with that now, but it's still relevant to somebody at some point in time. So I won't like, I'm not going to berate myself for it. But I do, and you're right, in recognizing that growth within yourself, but also having the capacity and being humble enough to
Yep.
recognize that you're like, oh God, what the other day I said this, and now I don't agree with that whatsoever. So I'm going to tell you why. I mean, that's beautiful. How many people like worry so much about being hypocrites instead of like actually acknowledging their own growth and their own, you know, when they change their minds. Like, we're allowed to change our mind. You're allowed to change your mind. For anyone who's scared about changing their mind, shut the fuck
Change
up
it.
and change your fucking
Yeah.
mind. When
It
presented
is
with
okay.
new
It's
information.
called growth, personal development, learning, right? And especially for
Learning.
me, I see a lot of it because I read the tarot. I see a lot of it in the tarot where like I was reading the magician a very specific way, and then I pulled that card on Friday, last Friday. And the way I read the card, and same with the moon, the way I read the moon, I was like, holy, I don't know where the fucking shit that came out of my mouth, but that's fucking brilliant. So
I need to tell you something, and I know, right? So it's up to you whether you edit this out or not, but
Okay.
this will wind you the fuck up. So,
Oh God, here we
yeah,
go.
no, it's wicked. It's
I'm
wicked.
ready.
I love it. Right. So I was watching a film the other day. Like, so I'm like really into found footage horror, and I was watching a movie the other day, which I can't remember what it's called now. That's irritating. I'll figure it out. Pop it in the comments or whatever. And so there's a dude, and he, you know, I mean, it's found footage, so obviously he's recording. He's like, I don't know, some sort of like amateur documentary filmmaker, fucking prick or whatever. You know, mediocre middle-aged white man with a podcast kind of thing. Sorry, I just really realised the connection there. Like, oh shit, is that me? Apart from that, I'm not a man. Yeah. So,
It's not you because you're brilliant.
so he's recording all this stuff, and then in his house he moves into this new apartment, and he's in his house. There's some weird shit going on. Then his new neighbor, like his neighbor comes and knocks and says hello.
Oh my God, is this going to be a death card reference?
No. Just don't try and guess. Wait, right?
Okay.
Because I need to do that. You know, I need to go through this.
I know, but I also need the investigator where I'm like, what's the answer? What's the answer? What's the answer?
Right.
What's the
So
answer?
basically, this bird turns up and is like, sorry, I'm going more British to get it done quicker. So this bird turns up, knocks on his door. Oh, I'm your neighbour. Oh, hello. Right, introduce myself. She gives him this little pouch. Oh, my sister makes these little pouches. You know, they're just like, you know, little good luck charm, whatever. Anyway, this bird, whatever. We all think she's a bit knobby. And then so she fucks off, rah. He says to her, oh, maybe you might want to come around for a drink at some point as new neighbours. She's like, yeah, all right, cool. Anyway, time goes on. There's some weird shit going on in his house, doors opening, lots of tapping, knocking, like nothing significant caught on camera necessarily, blah, blah, blah. Then he's out and about walking. One day he's recording, he bumps into the bird from next door or wherever she lives. And he says, oh, do you fancy coming round for that drink tonight? She's like, yeah, go on then, I'll bring my cards. He's like, cards? She's like, yeah, oh yeah, I'll bring my tarot cards. Oh, just a bit of fun. He's like, yeah, all right, all a bit weird, but yeah, all right, cool. Right. So at this point, he's got like movement, like poltergeist activity in his house. There's been a bit where like the bed sheets have gone all fucking mental, and there's doors flying open, and all this nonsense is going on. Okay, so then this bird turns up. I mean, number one, unrealistic. They're sharing one bottle of white wine. They're British people. They're sharing one bottle of white wine together. No, there'd be 3 bottles, right? Between 2 people, 3 bottles, because better to be safe than sober is our motto, right? So Heidi, she says, so I'm going to pull some cards, and here's where it goes awry for me. Shuffle. She pulls a card. She pulls a second card. She pulls a third card. She's like, I'm going to tell you past, present, future. All right, pretty standard, bog standard spread. She pulls 3 cards, which are, oh mate, I can't even tell you what they are. And she puts them on top of each other like playing cards, and that sort of, you know. And then so she pulls 3 off the top. She don't put them all. She don't fucking turn, right? She don't cut or turn. Boof. Says some nonsense. Then she's like, and then the next bit. So the first one, so this pass, so she goes doof with these cards, and they're like on top of each other. And then the next one's present, and she puts one there, and one there. And I'm like, what spread are you fucking doing anyway, bird? One's the tower. Then, oh no, it's not. It's the it's the fool. And then the ace of, I don't know, it might have been the ace of cups, ace of swords. And she's like, talking about like change and and it's like whatever, and then future, and it's just like obviously it's like death, devil, blah blah blah. Her spread is all over the fucking shop. What she's saying about the interpretations is absolute nonsense, and I had to pause it and text somebody to say the most jarring part of this poltergeist fucking found footage is that the tarot reader ain't got a clue what she's talking. I was like, you could have Googled it. It's lazy filmmaking.
Okay, so this is gonna hit, I'm gonna hit on this for 2 reasons. Okay, I went to film school. Do your fucking research as a fucking filmmaker and a script writer,
It would not
okay?
be hard.
It's easy. It's
Exactly.
easy.
You could
Secondly,
Google it.
stop playing into the goddamn tropes of, oh, the death card, you're gonna die.
But honestly, I'll have to send you the link to the movie. But it was so bad. It was so bad. And the guy is like, and she's saying, she's doing, basically, she's cold reading as well. And also totally not going along, like, just, she ain't got a fucking clue. But the way he also then, he gets really freaked out by what she's saying, because she's like, so you've had a recent change in your life, and that's made you
Yes, you just fucking moved, you know this.
And it's made you reconsider things, and now you're thinking, perhaps, you know, have you made the correct decision or not? And he's like,
there's a ghost in his house.
He's like, whoa, you're really freaking me out now. Maybe you should leave. Which is the most unrealistic part of the whole movie, when there's poltergeist activity. Do you get me? I was just,
I can't even.
I'm gonna send you the link to this film. You can stream it for free.
It's bad enough there's a motherfucking tarot movie like a whole horror movie based on tarot coming out, and I'm like,
I need to send you this. I can't even remember what it's called. Oh no, I can tell you what it's called. It's called the
horror of the shit.
Mansfield, the haunting on Mansfield Road is what it's called. It's British. It's low budget. I love low budget found footage, right? So don't,
and that's fine. Like, I'm totally fine as a former filmmaker, like doing low budget films. Like, you can get, because you have no money, you can't afford CG. You find the most creative ways to make films, and I'm like, stop throwing millions of dollars at films. Start lowering the budgets, and you're gonna find people are gonna have to get real fucking research how to do things, and you get amazing films out of it.
Do research. I was like messaging my mate, and I was like, literally could have Googled it. So you've got the script. You've got the script. You know what you need to say in the script. So now Google what tarot cards would potentially be representative of that. Google number 1, how to do an actual tarot spread. Google number 2, what cards represent. Number 3, forget Google and just go down the road and see your local tarot reader, who would be able to give you some insightful advice on how to make it sound more, because the thing is, the vast majority of people, I would say, who watch, and this is pure conjecture, but the vast majority, I love to throw stats around, like 90%. 90%
death is such an overused trope. But if somebody came to me and was like, we're making a film and this is what it is, and we need these cards, I'd be like, you need the 9 of swords and you need the 10 of swords.
Thank you. That's what I mean.
Right away.
So, and this is why it grinds my gears, is because people who watch horror and this sort of stuff, like especially with like paranormal or like occult or you know, more esoteric kind of horror, like we know stuff because we're into it. So when you're all sitting like, I don't know, like, you know, like stuff where people are on a Ouija board, and I'm like, you don't even know how to use a Ouija board, or even the fact that it's bollocks, or you don't know how to read tarot, like it jars, and then I'm outside of, and then I can't watch, you know, I will watch the rest of it. I'm thinking you're a dickhead the whole time. Because I get snobby about it, just because you've now made it less realistic because you don't understand the human element.
I know, that's why like this tarot movie, it's going, like, I've seen the previews, I'm like, this is going to be terrible, like it's going to be laughable, because I can already tell they have no idea what they're doing with that deck of cards by the fucking preview, and I'm like, it's like, and they have like they show the high priestess, and she's like got like almost looks like a nun, and I'm like,
oh, for fuck's sake. She says in this movie, she's like, when she pulls the death card, she goes, oh no, don't worry, which I think definitely needs to be said for those that don't, you know, necessarily understand tarot. She's like, the death card very rarely means actual death. And I was like, what do you mean very rarely? It don't. It's not like death, someone's gonna die. Like
no, it's a spiritual death, a shedding of the old to step into the new, which is why temperance follows death in the Matrix. Now we're gonna listen. You want to go on a tarot talk? This is gonna have to be a separate episode, because I'm gonna end it before I go into a rage.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna end it with I'm gonna end it the way we began, almost kind of with a celebration. Lou, today I'm celebrating you for being a fearless badass who shows up consistently for her friends, fearlessly from a place of love, and is showing up and starting to and working on that journey of showing up fearlessly for herself.
And Heidi, I'm grateful that I fucking met you. And I'm grateful for the level of wisdom and insight and acceptance that you bring to my fucking table and that you bring to other people's tables. And I am so proud of you in a non-condescending, way for really letting your fucking light shine so fucking bright. People need you, and you are going where you're needed, and you are doing that with yourself, not to the detriment of yourself. And it's a beautiful.
Thank you for being a fearless warrior leader. If anybody has compliments for us, please leave them in the comments.
Or if you need a compliment, leave your name.
Leave it and we will compliment you. Yeah. We will.
Good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop recording now.
Like, share,
oh yeah,
subscribe, so I can do one more of those fancy graphics for Lou.
And then we'll share some more stuff at a later date, because you know us. All right, with love, with love.